happen and pretty immediately hit the wall of what do plants eat? We're used to thinking of plants as sort of insensate salads. They actually have needs. Well, I'm going to get the organic whatever, and I go to the farm store and I'm looking around, and every single thing that's an amendment that is for fruit, like strawberries, it's bone meal and blood meal. Well, where do I think minerals come from? Well, I don't know. I've never done this before, and I'm horrified. I mean, I don't even want to smell it. I don't want to touch it. It feels so unclean.
And where does this bone meal and blood meal come from?
Well, it comes from, from animals. It's like where it doesn't fall out of the sky. Like, I know this is about dead animals. It's horrifying to me. What do? I have to supply what the soil needs, and what the soil wants is dead plants and dead animals. And I can't take animals out of that equation. I mean, it's absolute hubris to think we can. That's what soil is. That's how it evolved. That's a thriving, living community. There are insects, and they want to eat strawberries too. So either I'm going to kill them, or I'm going to get some creatures that will do it for me. And I went ahead and got chickens and ducks. Again, this was this just tremendous moment of ethical and moral meltdown. So now I'm enslaving these chickens and ducks to do this terrible thing for me, which is kill. You've never seen anything like a duck eat a slug. You want to see happiness? This is what I live for, was what my duck said. And boy, was she a happy little creature, the chickens as well. So they ate all the bugs for me, and I never saw another slug. Animals tell us what they want. If you just let them do what their nature is to do, then it's not even that they're happy, it's that they are who they should be. The most destructive thing we've done is this activity called agriculture. We don't really have a clue what goes into making that corn or making that soy. All we know is that, you look down on your plate and it doesn't look like a dead thing. Therefore, it somehow must be peaceful and kind and sustainable. And we're utterly wrong about this. You have to understand what agriculture is. You take a piece of land and you clear every living thing off it. And I'm including the bacteria in that. So all the plants and animals that are supposed to live there, they're gone. Now you're going to grow an acre of corn or wheat. That corn is going to require things that are not there for it, and you're going to have to come from the outside and apply them. It's going to take a lot of fertilizer, insecticides and fungicides, because you're fighting a war, right? All those other plants and all those other little animals want to come back. Now, another thing that happens is every time you plant that corn, you're destroying that soil, a prairie or a grassland. It's the perennial roots that make channels for the rain. When you only have annuals, they don't live a long time, so they don't have time to build long roots. So year by year, you are drawing down that soil. And then, of course, all that soil washes off. If you're on any kind of a slope, it all is just going to go into the local river and kill it with all that dirt. So now there's no fish either. In the meantime, though, while the corn is still growing, you can transport it to a miserable cow living on a cement floor inside a steel building and feed that cow for about 60 days. Past that point, she will die from the corn because it's not her natural diet. But until that point, she will get really fat really fast, and then slaughter her, feed her to humans. So you're going to make people sick eating this meat as well. As far as I can tell, this is nothing but death and destruction from the very beginning to the very end of this. Now I'm going to walk you through another scenario, which is you take the same acre of land, but you don't hurt it in any way. You let it have its own wisdom, its own impulse toward life, its own wild way. And what you have is a whole bunch of perennial plants growing there. You have a whole bunch of really sturdy grasses. You've got big birds, and you've got ground-dwelling birds, and then you've got small mammals and larger mammals. You might even have, every once in a while, a really big mammal come across there. You might have a wolf or a bear or somebody. And in the meantime, you've got a ruminant. So you've produced the same amount of food for people. You've got the one ruminant at the end.
You do have to
you slaughter her, and now people can eat.
Grains, though.
But that acre that is still in that prairie, that grassland, you could come back in 10,000 years and all of that life would still be there. The only thing different would be a little more soil, which is to say a little more resilience, a little more depth to life. And that is how we lived for 2.5 million years as humans on this planet, participating in that cycle.